Schools have shut down in the city as a mark of protest over non-payment of fees. Now, according to the Association of Schools, there are as many as 50% of parents who are fee defaulters. Moreover, the schools have also shut down online classes for 3 days as well. Now, these schools are affiliated to the Federation of Unaided Private Schools Association of Maharashtra, who have said that if the situation persists, even after their protest, they will then be forced to close down the schools for the rest of the year as well.
All our members have not hiked fees this year. Secondly, we have also instructed our members facilities unused in the school, they should waive off, and all our members have waived off fees of unused facilities. Thirdly, we have given installments to the parents monthly, quarterly. We have also called parents who claim that they are affected by COVID, and only 12% parents turned out to the schools, only 12%, who had real genuine difficulties, and we have helped all of them. As of now, after 7 months of online education, only 30% parents are paying. We are not demanding fees from the affected parents, but a majority chunk, 50%, are not picking up our calls, avoiding our calls, blocking our phones. So as on today, we are no more further capable of delivering education, online education.
Well, on to our continuing focus on the latest developments surrounding the farmers' agitation in the national capital over the 3 farm laws, which has now entered the 3rd week. In fact, it's day 20 today. In a scathing attack, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in fact, accused the opposition of spreading misinformation among farmers. Meanwhile, farmers held 2 crucial meetings today to strategize their next plan of action. Now, 35 farmer unions held a meet at Singhu border. Another meet of 40 union leaders is currently underway as well. Let me go across to Alok, who's joining us for more details. Alok, we'll of course, know in a short while from now what was actually discussed in these meetings when the farmers briefed the media. But what's the latest that you can tell us? All right, I think we've lost that line with Alok. We'll just try and reconnect in just a bit. But essentially, there is a briefing by the farmers' unions at 5:30, around 5:30. So that's when we'll perhaps know more about what exactly was discussed in terms of their next course of action. Remember, the farmers have stayed firm on their demand for repealing all of the 3 farm laws, despite all the overtures made by the centre, from the Prime Minister down the line, across the board. The union ministers who've also reached out to farmers to try and allay their fears and concerns. In fact, once again today, the Prime Minister reiterated that the government is going to listen to all the issues that the farmers have, will address the concerns of the farmer, and that any kind of a conspiracy or move to either scare or confuse the farmers will not be taken too well, and those who are spreading rumours and misinformation will not be spared. Of course, training guns at the opposition as well. Alok is back with us. Yes, Alok, please go ahead. What can you tell us?
Hello. Avni, today is 20th day and the protest is continuing at various borders of the national capital. We are reporting regularly from Singhu border, and we are giving updates what is happening on the ground. In fact, right now the meeting is going on at this one of the showrooms room that is being in fact made by the farmers as their office, and now they are doing their meeting daily. They brief the media because there are more than 500 organizations, 40 organizations who are leading this protest. So definitely they have to meet daily because they have to reach out to one of the consensus which they have to brief the media. Till yesterday, there was a pan-India protest we witnessed, we observed all over the country. Now they are formulating another strategy, next course of action. In fact, the farmer leader, one of the farmer leader is with us, Manjeet Rai. Sir, हमें ये बताइए कि अभी की स्ट्रैटेजी क्या बन रही है कल के लिए, थोड़ा बहुत अगर आप कुछ बताएं, क्योंकि हमें पता है प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में काफ़ी चीज़ें अनाउंस की जाएंगी।
देखिए, जो अभी मीटिंग शुरू हुई थी तो मैं तो बाहर आ गया था, मेरे को प्रेस वाले भाइयों ने छोड़ा नहीं अभी तक। अंदर जाऊंगा तो पता चलेगा कि क्या बात है।
लेकिन फिर भी क्या लग रहा है सर, अब कल से आप लोग इंटेंसिफाई करेंगे?
नहीं, हमारी जो पहले हमारी 30 की मीटिंग थी, पहले पंजाब वालों की अकेली मीटिंग थी, और उसके बाद हमारी जो है ऑल इंडिया लेवल की जो संयुक्त किसान मोर्चा उसकी मीटिंग चल रही है। तो जो उसमें हमारी बात थी वो तो यही आई थी कि जो प्रपोजल उन्होंने भेजी थी तो उसका रिटर्न में जवाब हम दें, लिख कर दें उनको। क्योंकि सरकार बोल रही है कि हमने तो भेजा, उन्होंने भेजा नहीं। तो हमने जो उस रोज प्रेस में बोला था, जैसे रिजेक्ट किया था, उसको हम रिटर्न करके दे देते हैं, उसको भेज देते हैं लिखत में। तो उसी की बात चर्चा पहले चली थी, लेकिन उसको मीटिंग को थोड़ा लंबा होगी, उसको पोस्टपोन करना पड़ा क्योंकि हमारे साथी बाकी स्टेटों से सब आ गए थे। तो उनसे बात तय जब हो जाएगी तो फिर बाद में
हम ये क्या कहें कि अगर आप लोग रिटर्न में गवर्नमेंट को लिख के दे देते हैं कि हमें ये प्रपोजल एक्सेप्ट नहीं है या हमें अमेंडमेंट एक्सेप्ट नहीं, यही लिख कर दे रहे हैं, तो उसके बाद क्या आप लोग को लगता है कि सरकार आगे बातचीत करेगी या नहीं करेगी?
करे ना करे उसकी इच्छा है। देखिए, हमारा काम है कि जो सरकार ने हमको जबरदस्ती दिया है उसको हम वापस मुड़वाना चाहते हैं, उनको वापस करना चाहते हैं, इसको रिपील करें। तो उसके लिए हमारा आंदोलन चल रहा है। हमारा आंदोलन तब तक चलता रहेगा जब तक सरकार इसको रिपील नहीं करेगी।
एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण चीज़ पूछना चाहूँगा, क्योंकि आज प्रधानमंत्री जी ने स्पीच दी है और उन्होंने फार्मर्स इशू को फिर से एड्रेस किया है। उन्होंने ये बोला है कि जो अपोजिशन पार्टीज़ हैं और जो एग्रीकल्चरल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं वो काफ़ी समय से रिफॉर्म चाहती थी, लेकिन अब हमने रिफॉर्म लेकर के आए हैं तो अब वो लोग इस चीज़ का अपोज कर रहे हैं। ये एक बहुत बड़ी चीज़ बोली। और उन्होंने एक और बात बोली है कि जो लोग मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन फैला रहे हैं, गलत इन्फॉर्मेशन फैला रहे हैं, उनको हम लेसन टीच करेंगे, मतलब हम उनको बताएंगे, मतलब सरकार जो भी करना चाहेगी। तो ये दो चीज़ें कहेंगे, उसके ऊपर आपकी प्रतिक्रिया?
मैं पहले तो ये प्रतिक्रिया दूंगा कि ये हमारे जो पीएम है ये पहले तो झूठे हैं, क्योंकि रिफॉर्म हम चाहते थे। क्या चाहते थे? स्वामीनाथन रिपोर्ट हम मांग रहे थे C2+50 के साथ, इन्होंने दिया है स्वामीनाथन रिपोर्ट A52 के साथ। तो कहना का मतलब ये है कि सरकार जो हम मांग रहे थे वो नहीं दिया, जो नहीं मांगा आज तक। ये ऐसा रिफॉर्म तो हमने कभी मांगा ही नहीं। जो इन्होंने दिया है हमने कभी आज तक मांगा ही नहीं। बताएं किस किसान ने मांगा, किस संगठन के नेता ने मांगा। तो ये सरकार जो है एकदम लोगों को गुमराह कर रही है कि हम तो किसान हितैषी हैं, हम तो बड़ा अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं। ये हमारे लिए अच्छा नहीं कर रहे भाई। मैं आपके माध्यम से बता रहा हूँ कि केवल ये पूंजीपतियों के, जो अडानी अवानी जैसे अमीर लोग हैं, हो सकता और भी हों उसमें, तो हम तो अडानी अवानी क्योंकि मुख्य अब मुंह पे चढ़ गए हैं, और भी हो सकते हैं ऐसे, उनके लिए कर रही है।
Okay. So definitely this is what their stand is. Right now the meeting is going on. After few minutes that briefing will going to happen, and then the picture will be clear. What is next course of action of the farmers' agitation? Back to you.
All right, Alok, thanks for getting us those details and that voice as well. But of course, like you pointed out, we'll come back to you as soon as the farmers' briefing also starts. Meanwhile, let's also listen in to what the Prime Minister said earlier.
आजकल दिल्ली के आसपास किसानों को भ्रमित करने की बड़ी साजिश चल रही है। उन्हें डराया जा रहा है कि नए कृषि सुधारों के बाद किसानों की जमीन पर दूसरे कब्जा कर लेंगे। साथियों, हाल में हुए कृषि सुधारों की मांग बरसों से की जा रही थी। अनेक किसान संगठन भी पहले ही मांग करते थे कि अनाज को कहीं पर भी बेचने का विकल्प दिया जाए। आज जो लोग विपक्ष में बैठकर किसानों को भ्रमित कर रहे हैं, वो भी अपनी सरकार के समय इन कृषि सुधारों के समर्थन में थे, लेकिन अपनी सरकार के रहते वो निर्णय नहीं ले पाए, किसानों को झूठे दिलासे देते रहे। आज जब देश ने यह ऐतिहासिक कदम उठा लिया तो यही लोग किसानों को भ्रमित करने में जुट गए हैं। मैं अपने किसान भाई बहनों से फिर एक बार कह रहा हूं, बार बार दोहराता हूं कि उनकी हर शंका के समाधान के लिए सरकार 24 घंटे तैयार है। किसानों का हित पहले दिन से हमारी सरकार की सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकताओं में से एक रहा है।
On that note, we're going to slip into a very quick break, but we'll come back with lots more news. Stay with us. back. Let's now turn our attention to the latest developments in the strike by the AIIMS nurses. Delhi High Court has restrained the nurses union from the indefinite strike while noting that their grievances are being addressed. This comes after emergency services and surgeries at AIIMS had to be curtailed in the wake of this indefinite strike that was called by nurses over the implementation of this six-pay commission. Let me in fact go across to Meenakshi, who's joining us for more details. Meenakshi, what can you tell us what the High Court has said with respect to the strike?
Well, that's right, Avni. You see, AIIMS had moved the Delhi High Court against its own striking nurses, and the High Court single-judge bench composition led by Honorable Justice Naveen Chawla has issued notices to the Union of Nurses. And what is interesting is he has noted in today's orders that the management has made submissions that it will redress the grievances of the striking nurses. And with this, he has said that he's restraining the workers or the nurses from striking further. So clearly this is a ruling which has now been passed against the nurses from continuing their strike further. So they would be well advised to not proceed furthermore with their strike prospects. But if they, however, wish to do so, then the appeal of a superior court, which in this case will be the division bench or a two-judge composition of the Delhi High Court, would be available to them. But let's bear in mind the facts on ground. I mean, we've seen a lot of efforts being made towards resolution of their grievances, and a lot of assurances also have come by. And now there is a judicial order which is also recording the management submission saying that they will be redressing going forward all the grievances that have been brought to light by the nurses, and therefore the nurses are restrained from striking any further. So it's a judicial order now which is saying that they should not strike any furthermore.
All right, Meenakshi, thank you so much for joining us with all of those details. Well, High Court there as far as the strike is concerned. But as a large number of nurses, paramedics and medical staff continue their agitation against the irregularities in pay, harrowed relatives of the patients are left in the lurch outside AIIMS, clueless about the health of their close ones.
मेरा नाम प्रिया है। इमरजेंसी में मेरे पापा एडमिट है। दिक्कत तो हो रही है क्योंकि अंदर से कोई अपडेट नहीं देते हैं कि क्या अंदर चल रहा है क्या नहीं चल रहा है। 24 घंटे में एक बार कॉल आती है, वो भी बताया जाता है कि कंडीशन ठीक नहीं है।
आप लोगों को पता चल रहा है कि कौन अटेंड कर रहा है, नर्सेस जैसे नहीं है, कौन अटेंड कर रहा है?
नहीं, हमें नहीं पता कौन सा डॉक्टर अटेंड कर रहा है, कौन सी नर्सेज अटेंड कर रही है। बस 24 घंटे में एक बार कॉल आती है, वो भी 2 मिनट या 1 मिनट के लिए।
All right, let's move on now to Mumbai, where late-night parties in Mumbai have sent authorities into a tizzy, forcing them to take strict action and levy hefty fines. Raids were conducted by the civic body, in fact, which found restaurants, bars and pubs overcrowded, functioning beyond the permissible limit, and people also being seen without masks. About 8 places have either been fined or FIRs have been filed against them. Ahead of Christmas and New Year, Civic Body Chief has also warned that they will be forced to shut down bars and restaurants if these kind of violations continue.
The Civic Body of Mumbai has raided, or you can say done surprise checks in at least 8 places here in the city of Mumbai, and these are the clubs, restaurants and pubs for that matter, because when these places reopened there were certain norms that were put in place as to the time limit was of 11:30. Only 50 people should be gathered at one point in time. Social distancing has to be maintained, so tables have to be set accordingly and people should be seen wearing masks. But out of 8 places that they raided, at least 6 places violations were found where at least more than 200 to 300 people were together in these pubs, restaurants for that matter. Out of 6, at least FIR has been filed against 3 such places in concern, and other 3 have been fined. Even people have been fined for not maintaining social distancing and wearing masks for that matter. So BMC says that once again the city does not witness surge, and with the New Year's and Christmas, which is of course in Mumbai, we know that it's a party place for that matter. So these surprise surprise checks will continue to take place at least till December 20th of this month. And if at all, if more such places are found to be violated, then there are chances that these places will be completely shut off for New Year celebrations. And night curfew is also something that the PMC is planning to be imposed, which essentially means that all of these places have to be shut by 11 p.m. So all of these decisions are under consideration. But before that, random checks will take place in these pubs, clubs for that matter, because there is a rule in place, but in most of the places it is being violated.
All right, moving on now. There was a heavy ruckus in the Karnataka Legislative Council. High drama, in fact, unfolded earlier today as BJP and Congress members indulged in a massive scuffle. The visuals of the same are on your screens. You can see what really went on. Let me go across to Shrija for more on this. Shrija, if you can help us understand what really happened, what led to these scenes.
Well, this was quite expected, but not in this manner, Avni, because what we understand and we saw at that, especially at the Karnataka Legislative Council, is especially where members continue to push and pull, and we also saw how they were hurling abuses. Now, this all started only after where the Deputy Chairman, S.L. Dharmegowda, of the JDS party, where he had occupied the seat much before the chairman, K. Pratapa Shetty. This is from the Congress he had arrived. Now, we understand, remember, on Monday, where especially the BJP had planned to especially move a no-confidence motion. This is against Pratapa Chandra Shetty, for which they did not want him to be seated on that particular chair. So once we understand that the Congress did notice that Dharmegowda was seated, we see that this had angered the Congress, as Dharmegowda would have allowed a no-confidence motion against Shetty. And also remember, the BJP, along with this, is having the backup of JDS. They clearly wanted to dislodge Shetty through no trust motion. So exactly what we understand, what ensued the entire time was there was a scuffle happening at that point in time. We could see there was pull and push. As far as the visuals go, we can also see on the visuals where Dharmegowda is being pulled by the Congress, asking him to vacate the seat so that Shetty can be seated. So after which we understand, once when Shetty entered the council, he was escorted by the marshals, and after which he adjourned the house.
All right, Shrija, thank you so much for joining us with all of those details. Meanwhile, let's get to some international news now. As United Kingdom announces tighter restrictions, the capital city of London will likely be placed under the highest level of these restrictions. Under the Tier 3 restrictions, the country will observe a near-complete lockdown, with people allowed to meet only in an outdoor setting. Hospitality venues will be shut down except for takeaways and deliveries. Now, this comes after a new variant of the coronavirus has emerged in the island nation amidst a very sharp spike in the COVID-19 cases in some areas. England's chief medical officer has said that as of now, there isn't any evidence suggesting that the new strain is more dangerous.
I can tell you that because of the testing and surveillance system that we've built, we've also identified a new variant of this virus, which may be associated with the faster spread in some areas.
There are two other things you always want to worry about with a new variant. The first one is three things, actually. The first one is there any evidence this is actually more dangerous? And there's no evidence for that at the moment. There's no evidence that if you catch this variant, you're more likely to have severe disease than if you catch different variants. The second question is it invisible to the tests we have? And the short answer is no. The current tests work against this variant.
On that note, it's time to wrap up this edition. Here's a reminder that you can visit our website, mirrornownews.com, and also follow us on our social media handles.